let's chat a little bit about farmhouse decor, cottage decor, or actually you could use it for any style of decor. I believe there are some key elements that really add that authentic touch to your home, and I wanted to share those with you today. Beginning with wood, I love wood pieces, and I'm trying to make sure that I stay balanced because I don't want my home to just be all wood. I do think there is a need for variety and styling different textures together, but I am always drawn to wood. So with that comes antiquity, because a lot of the things that were made in the past were made with wood, as opposed to nowadays when things are plastic and all different kinds of materials that have evolved over time. But I am so drawn to the genuine things that were made, handmade from wood. So for example, this clock behind me, my father-in-law gave this piece to us. It was actually from his job site, and it has the metal edge around it. It is super heavy. But then I just stenciled the numbers on it, and then I got a clock kit from Hobby Lobby and added that to the middle of it. And now we have this very weathered, worn, old looking clock that we DIY'd, but it came from a genuine piece of old wood, or pieces of old wood. So I love old trays. I love old wooden cabinets, filing cabinets. We have one of those. Another example is this wooden little drawer set behind me that I got secondhand from a friend. And I love it because it is so old looking. It looks like it was put together with just scraps of old wood. And it has these cute little drawers in it. I have yet to decide exactly what I'm going to use it for, but I think it is so priceless. You just cannot find something authentic like that in the stores these days. So I love old wood pieces. I recently bought a thrifted chair at a great price. It was marked $10, but it was 50% off, so I ended up getting it for $5. And I love the high back on it. I guess it could be considered maybe on the edge of primitive, but I think it can go with so many different styles. So wood pieces are one of my top recommendations and one of my absolute favorites. Another thing that I love to thrift for, and that is so much a part of my home, are baskets. I could buy a new basket every time I go thrifting. And I was actually recently at the thrift store and came across a really cute one for $5, and I used self-control and did not purchase it because I have a lot of baskets and I have to think about, do I really need this? But I use them so much. Every time I decorate, I pull my baskets out. And so they may show up in a different room. They may show up for a different purpose. These two are picnic baskets that I have thrifted, and I use them to store linens in. I've used this one for my girls' tea set. I also found a very unique one on Facebook Marketplace that I put my wastebasket or rubbish bin in to disguise it. We don't have a place in our kitchen to house a wastebasket, and so our trash can was just sitting out and it wasn't very pretty to look at. So I found this unique basket on Marketplace and went to pick it up and found out that it was shipped over from England. I believe it may have been used as a laundry basket. At one time it probably had straps that they would strap it on their back, and then they would take it to the city center and do their laundry. And so I picked that up, and now it houses our wastebasket. So I use baskets to store fruit and vegetables in. I use baskets in my kids' drawers for socks and underclothes to keep them organized. I've used baskets for so many different purposes, and so I highly recommend that you go to your local thrift store and see what unique baskets that you can find. Thirdly, I would recommend jars. Glass jars, amber jars, any kind of jars that are not plastic. I think they are pretty and very functional. So we have this jar that I put my coffee beans in, and you can find these at the thrift store fairly easily, or at least here in my area you can. So I've used them for rice, for flour, for brown sugar, for a number of different things in the kitchen as well as in the bathroom. I use them to store Q-tips and cotton balls and even our extra razor blades. They come in handy for so many different purposes, and it makes it look tidy and organized. On my last thrifting trip, when I got the chair, I also picked up these 3 canning jars. So if you buy these in the store, they can be quite expensive, but because it was 50% off day, I ended up getting these for either a quarter or 50 cents a piece. So every time I'm at the thrift store, I look at the jars and see if I can bring home some more canning jars. These we actually can in salsa, jams, jellies. I love giving them as gifts to people. They can also be used as drinking glasses if you want to use those outside. Like for parties, I would put silverware in them. So a lot of different uses for jars, and they are very easily accessible at the thrift store. Okay, let's talk about metals. As opposed to using some type of silicone or plastic, I love using real metal utensils in the kitchen. I heard somewhere once that you're only supposed to have 2 different metals in each room of your home. Now, I think that is totally a personal preference. I do think it can get overwhelming if you have a lot of all different kind of metals, but I enjoy copper. I also enjoy gold and silver. So I have incorporated those into my decorating. The little silver pitcher that I thrifted in one of my recent videos, I cut some fresh roses from our garden and arranged in that, and it just was an instant source of pleasure and beauty for our home. So any type of silver containers that you can use for flowers or as a serving piece. I've used different metals, like in the bathroom, I have a little silver tray that I put our soap on. And so incorporating all of those precious metals into your home gives it a very genuine feel, as opposed again to the plastic and things that you have to replace, I feel like, more often The metal ones are so hardy and durable and also beautiful. Our flowers, real flowers, faux flowers. I believe that flowers add beauty to every style of decorating. So regardless of how your home is decorated, using flowers and stems and greenery that bring you joy is a great way to add charm and character to your home. I feel like I might have gone overboard this spring with all of the flowers inside of my house, but I have enjoyed them so much. And so this would be my final idea for today. So we've talked about wood elements, jars, flowers, metals. All of these things can add to your decor regardless of your style, and they are easily found at your local thrift store. Hopefully, I hope you have thrift stores in your area. If not, maybe you need to make a little road trip and find some. I do have a DIY to share after this, but I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting this channel, and I love hearing your comments. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't already, and blessings to all of you, my friends.
You may remember last November I thrifted this old wooden ironing board. It definitely needed some TLC, so we cleaned it and sanded it down really well, and then added some insulated padding. My husband deserves all of the credit for this project because I pretty much just held the camera while he did all of the work. So he stapled that to the ironing board, and then I just decided to use some drop cloth as the cover for now. Later on I might find something else, but this was something I had on hand. And my youngest little girl decided that she would iron with me. Here it is hanging up in our laundry room, and that is a project done.